So I just wrapped the 11th season of Delayed Input, and we all know what that means. It's now time for my performance review. Here is my official performance reviewer from MinnMax, Ben Hansen.
Hello, Kyle Bossman. Come on in, man. Have a seat. Close the door.
Okay, so I've never done one of these for a web series before. What is the format of this performance review going to be like?
Well, you should know we've been watching. I know you think you're just having fun on your own, but we have in fact been watching, and after 11 seasons, it is time just let you know how you did. You know, it's not a very intense situation. You can relax, but we have thoughts on what you've been putting out in the world.
Okay. All right.
So the format is we have some clips, we'll have fun, but also it's just an opportunity to reflect on what you've been doing, man. So you've been with us since April 2021?
That's right. That sounds right to me, yeah.
Right on. How you feeling so far, man?
Oh, God, that's like a real performance review question.
What do you think this is?
I'm suddenly nervous. Good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like, you know what I mean? Here's the thing is I feel like every single episode of Delayed Input is weird in some way. And that's sort of my goal. That's like, as long as the next episode is weird, as long as something unique happened in that episode, I'm satisfied with it.
You want to take a look at the first episode?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
I want you to reflect back on how you pitched this show.
Okay. I don't even remember pitching it. Here's what I remember. My memory is never saying anything about what the show actually is.
Okay. Well, let's just see. Let's go look.
Welcome to the show. This is a brand new show. This is the first episode of a brand new show. Trying to keep things relatively low key though. This is not meant to be a grand event. Just, another video where I'm talking about video games.
What do you think of that, reflecting back on that pitch?
I'm trying to keep things low key, right? And that's just to be like, hey man, this is not a big deal. I'm not trying to make this splashy. We're in the heat of COVID. I'm just trying to just make a video.
I think watching it, especially going back and watching, it's like, hey, this is kind of your main thing. You're putting a ton of effort into it. Mm-hmm. It's compelling stuff week to week, yet you pitch it as this is low key. Just relax, everybody. Don't expect anything. And especially when you're launching a Patreon with this, I thought it was an odd strategy to not. You don't need to be like, hey, this is the second coming of Christ. Yeah. But you can come out there and say hey, I'm gonna be trying every week, and I'm doing this show. Thank you for watching. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I guess we can speak some unspoken right now, right? Is that the entire time I was with Easy Allies, I said I would not do this specific thing.
Right.
Which is basically a Final Bossman-esque show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, a year removed from Easy Allies to show up with this thing I said I would not do is a bad look.
Yeah.
You agree?
Well, it's a tricky. Yeah. I think the community has noted that. I don't know if you quite caught that.
Yeah.
And so your pitch was, I really want to do this thing. It's what my heart's telling me to do. But if I pitch it like it's not a big deal, it's not what it looks like, even though it is what it looks like, then people will be cool on the internet.
Yeah, that was the idea anyway. That was the plan.
Okay. Should we go over strengths and weaknesses?
Okay, sure, yeah.
First of all, love the show. Have I made that very clear yet?
You haven't made it super clear.
Okay, really love the show.
Okay.
Look forward to it with every new episode. It's genuinely a delight on the receiving end when it's like, hey, new Delayed Input on my phone. That's going to watch later, and I hope that later is minutes away in my life, is what I say to myself. So hats off. Hopefully you're feeling some of the love. I was just cruising around online. A lot of people like the show, man.
What do you mean cruising around online?
I was just cruising. Hey, can we talk about your strengths, man?
Please.
Gotta tell you, there are so many good ideas, fun ideas in each episode of Delayed Input. If you really just count up ideas alone, you're packing so much in here compared to a lot of other video essays, especially of this length on the internet. I feel like I learn more about the game industry or think that's an interesting take more often with Delayed Input than I think any other essay series of this length, I will say. You can't compare it to some 12-hour essay, stuff like that, but they're dense is what I'm trying to say. You really pack a lot in, man.
That honestly, I feel like I don't compare well to other essayists, so that's high praise.
You're good. You got your lane. You're nailing. I think episode length, another strength. I think it's great to have 10 to 20 minutes. Get in, get out. Perfect. Cat, walking through the background,
Sure.
or just being the background. That's always a fun plus for everybody. Here's a subtle thing: strength. You know when to leave in a stumble or a laugh, an earnest laugh during the recording. And I imagine that's a tough thing during the edit to figure out that line of, this is a sincere laugh, I got to leave it in. It's better if they see me crack.
This fucking dog knows how to say the word food. This fucking dog.
Still gets you. Still gets you.
Yeah. So I guess if I'm I think here's the big difference, right? If I'm editing and I'm like, oh, this is funny, like if I'm laughing, then yes. If I'm editing and I see myself laughing and I'm not laughing, cut it.
What about like a charming stumble?
So it's hard for me to be a critic. It's hard for me to critique the things that I perceive. Okay. So I feel like there's a couple of things that's happening there, right? One, it's like, hey, I'm breezy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, I'm just here making mistakes. But also,
right.
I think there's that really fun like cadence there. Critique the things that, you know, like I think that's like so funny that it's like I'll keep the stumble in because we get to something that's fun there at the end, you know?
Hey, you know what else is great? Gotta say, rewatching it especially, and you grappled with this the correct amount. Shrek stuff. I gotta say, look, the pivot from Shrek to the honk, 10 out of 10 pivot. Could not be better, because going back, Shrek stuff, it's like, all right, you're aware how overplayed Shrek is.
Yeah.
That's the bit. It's twisting back on itself, 14 ways to Sunday. Then you go to that honk, makes me laugh every episode. It is truly Hall of Fame bit. And the fact that so many people are just commenting on where you put the honk, it is the simplest, most effective joke you could possibly have implemented. It's perfect.
That's high praise.
Hey, do you want to go from that to talking about your greatest weaknesses?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. You got rid of it, more or less, and it's charming. No doubt it's charming. The photo backdrop, like the great backdrop.
Oh, okay.
It always has little folds in it. You know, I feel like it never looked great, but then again, you're not trying to be Slick Willy here. You're just trying to put on a show. It's fine. It's fine to have some folds back there. How did you feel about the folds in the backdrop is what I'm trying to get to.
Well, I mean, I still got folds. You know what I mean? Season 11, I still got those folds. They're incredibly hard to iron out. You try and they persist.
Glasses. I feel like you're inconsistent. Like it varies season to season. Have you thought about that? Like this season I will wear my glasses. This season I won't. It's an interesting detail.
Okay, so this most recent season I started with contacts, right? But I had like the weird like red flaky dryness of my eyeballs, and I'm like, people are gonna worry about my eyes. So then I switched to glasses for the rest of that season.
You want to just jump through some random moments, see what they make you think of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, Crash. This is a bigger world than you understand. Whoa! Why, story? You knew what you signed up for, kid. No!
You get the picture. Do you have any memory of doing that?
That's me riffing. That's a riff. I believe that's an unscripted riff.
Let's see. I really like when you're talking about Housemarque.
Stormdivers is, and I was gonna say, Stormdivers is Housemarque walking into the break room going, I was gonna say Stormdivers. Too late. It was too late.
That's it. I think that's the perfect analogy for the game that people barely talk about or remember, but Stormdivers from Housemarque.
Sometimes I think you can tell it's like this is a stand-up bit implanted into a video game critique show. The I was gonna say thing I think is 100% just like a regular stand-up bit.
But if you tried to do it on stage in an open mic, all right, you guys remember Stormdivers from Housemarque? They announced it. There's some gameplay trailers, but it wouldn't work. Right. It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. But very, very smart bet.
Weird thing about this episode is the video in the box.
Oh, interesting.
It was the only time I tried that. The comments were not having it. They were not into that. They called it very distracting. So I never put video in that box ever again.
Let's see. We got another clip here. Are you fine with this? Running through clips?
As long as none of these are like, look how stupid you were in this one. You know, this is fun.
There's only one of those.
Okay.
And I won't tell you when it's coming up.
Great.
In fact, if I had to rank feelings for things in relation to time, it would go like this. Liking current things is obviously last. Then liking old things. Then wanting new things. And of course, number 1 is hating current things.
Simple bit.
That's
Simple
good
bit
stuff.
works.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm curious if you remember the context for this line here.
By the way, what's really funny is already my suggested videos are now populated with clips of delayed input.
Welcome to hell, buddy.
Apple. Like, that's basically just how we talk in the U.S. Apple. Alan, I can't take the cake.
Remember that one pretty well?
Yeah. That's that's like a long-standing bit that I just kind of shoved into this particular instance.
This is a bold swing. Love it. Here's a clip.
I love Donald and Goofy. In fact, I would play any RPG that has Donald and Goofy as party members in it, regardless of what the story is. Well, I don't know what RPG stands for. I forgot that in college. Okay, buddy.
That's just that line. I think it's excellent.
What's crazy is I would never do one of these like it's me wearing a wig episodes today.
Why?
I think this is me wearing a wig is like a lowbrow YouTube humor, you know?
Sure. But isn't Shrek stuff lowbrow YouTube humor?
It's gone. Yeah. I'm trying to shed the lowbrow stuff. I'm kind of trying to keep the show highbrow.
Here's just a random little joke. Let's look back on this one.
Okay.
ROFK had a thing where its characters were referencing the fact that they are in a state of play.
Well, can we do something fun with it? Like, can we be like, why is it called State of Play? What are we, the president?
We've talked about these jokes.
It's like if Deadpool didn't have guns, but just lied on a couch and sent text messages.
Caitlin's good.
Yeah. How often do you want to bring Caitlin back?
It's funny. I didn't want to rely on Caitlin, so I sent Caitlin away as like a thing of like, okay, I'm not gonna become Caitlin guy.
Let's see. We have a couple other options for you. Do you want to go through your funniest cold opens, or do you want to go through your best joke, worst joke?
Best joke, worst joke.
All right, which one do you want to start with, man?
You got to start with best joke.
Okay. Great. Let's roll the clip.
F+. Finally, little devil inside.
No. I think it was just a bird.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Thank you. I threw up a wet little bird. And it slithered down the drain pipe before I could fully register it, but I think it was a little bird. Oh, you're talking about the game. Little Devil Inside.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Right.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Forcing the audience to envision, like sometimes I just think imagining things is funny, you know what I mean? So
I got that idea.
yeah, you can't watch that clip without also thinking about it like a little red dead bird going down the drain, you know?
Now look, I feel bad saying this is the worst joke of the entire series, but full disclosure, in the email you said, be brutal. And it's tough because it's a tongue-in-cheek joke, very clearly not meant to be a sincere joke. But in turns, wow. Here we go. Roll the clip.
I don't get what everybody's all worked up about. I like NFTs. Nice fat tushies.
No, that's a bad joke. That's in the bad joke file, huh?
If I have to point to one that was just, fine. How do you feel? I mean, are you proud of that joke in retrospect, or how are you feeling about the bit?
No, because I honestly think like I feel like it was like it made sense to make an NFT joke at the time. Today I wouldn't, right? Like I feel like there's like 5 episodes where it's like this sucks, right? And then like I move on, as we all have.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't make that joke today, but I do think nice fat tushies is indeed funny.
Okay. Good. Now here's the good news.
Okay.
You followed it up. Your cold open for the next episode, one of your best.
Wow.
Let's roll that clip.
I had the hardest time at the airport today. I was about to get onto my flight right there at the gate, and they stopped me. The dog in them said I smelled like gasoline, that I smelled too much like gasoline to enter the plane. And so they took me to this other room. Where else was I going to go? I got naked, had my clothes in a pile, and yet they still said, you smell like gasoline. And I agreed with them. I did smell like gasoline. So the thing was, we just didn't know where the smell was coming from.
That's the cold open?
That's the cold
That
open.
is so crazy. That's like 38 seconds.
Oh, hang on. My light is scalding me. Let me go fix it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It looked like a vampire hunter opened the blinds or something.
It felt like that. Hey, man, where do you get your ideas from? What was that?
That one is most likely like after 5 minutes of riffing. So I'll start off with kind of an idea, you know what I mean? And then I'll just keep going and going until something is funny to me.
Perfect. You nailed it.
That has no comedic perspective, you know what I mean? That's just like a weird thing. That's so weird.
You want to just go through more random funny openings?
Sure.
So a doctor is preparing for a brand new patient this week. And the patient suddenly comes into the office and he's a clown. He's got makeup on, big red nose, huge feet, all of it. And the doctor is, of course, amused and says, what seems to be the problem? What brings you in today? And the clown says, well, doc, I'm actually terribly depressed. I'm so sad I could cry. Nothing seems funny to me anymore. And the doctor says, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I mean, this is kind of funny. Take-Two just bought Zynga for $12.7 billion. And the clown says, but doctor, I just bought Zynga for...
Committed to the bit.
Well, obviously not, right? I couldn't get through it.
Well, I guess that's true. I think to make it that far, that counts as a commitment.
That's a fun one, man. That's one of my favorite episodes, actually.
Yeah.
That's the one where I'm like, it's free ideas for Twisted Metal, where it's like, I have like the little
Yes.
cars and like doing the little demonstrations and things. And a fun bonus bit with the witches who want to pop the tubs and stuff.
Right. Let's see. Another clip.
Today we're taking a look into the future of gaming. Okay.
Now, is that an easy, cynical joke too?
Yeah, that's in the performance though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, not like, so like, I feel like you got to play to your strengths. And so obviously there's like a lot of people online making videos about video games, right? But like,
Yeah.
I feel like they're too charismatic to pull that bit off. Maybe they don't feel like the daily disdain that I do. And so like, I feel like, you know, that comes from a raw place.
You want one more funny opening?
Yeah, please.
My username is Gatsby, but the B is an 8. Open a book if you want to learn what it means.
Why'd you pick that one?
Because it made me laugh. So is that written out, or is that again you riffing and then just slicing it in there?
100% that was not in the script.
Then when you're editing, this will be funny if it's cut short.
Yeah. Like there's no way that you want to watch that character finish that sentence.
Let's see what else we got to cover. Most popular episodes. Number one
is the Marvel Snap episode.
Yeah. How do you feel about that thing blowing up?
That was fun. That was, to me, like, that was a really fun episode because it had true stakes. There was an actual like arc and story, and like there's some realness to it. You can't replicate that. That was I can't do another one of those.
Number 2, Xbox will never win.
Ooh, nice.
Number 3, I didn't care about Baldur's Gate, but now I do.
Really? Already?
Yeah,
That's
number 3.
shut up to number 3. Cool.
Yep, 61K. Opening episode, Is This Crazy? Is at 46K. Great for a first step. Number 5 is 2023's PlayStation Showcase was surprisingly bad at 44K.
See, that's me learning how to title a video. Because what you just did, like, I feel like most of those are from like the last 12 months. Except for it's kind of a bummer to have your first episode out be your most viewed episode, and it was for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice to have some pop up.
Lowest viewed episode. Do you know what it is?
Shoot, no.
Ski-free robbery.
No way. That's such a good one.
I'm sorry. I know. It's a great one. That was compelling.
Okay.
It was a real investigation.
Here's the thing though. Bad title.
Yeah.
Like like Cracker Jack stole a ski-free game is like a better title. Just like that off,
Right.
Yeah.
Or the free IP that no one's taking advantage of, something like
that's
that.
nice. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's it for the performance review.
Wow.
Anything you want to cover? I guess, it's kind of your time to speak your piece.
So let's talk about like when you're doing a real performance review, right?
Yeah.
If your boss said that, I feel like you should be like, any other things that I should improve upon? That's what my answer is. Yeah, just curious, any other things that you think you would like to see me improve upon?
No, looking great. We ran down the weaknesses. Those are, not great. And I'm sure everybody's always screaming at you like, do this for an idea, right? You get enough of that?
I think they know I'll ignore it.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't get a lot of that.
You're the creative guy. I don't want to tell you what to do, but what about this for an episode idea?
Okay.
It's all about the iconic thing in games that no one ever talks about. That's too good of a headline, though. This is just zooming in on one thing, but it's something I've become obsessed with recently. It's in games, this moment with fade out, fade to black, construction sounds. Like, yeah, we'll take care of that ship for you. Fade to black. Hammer, hammer, hammer. Saw, saw, saw. You know what I mean? You know the moment in games.
I don't even know. I have no idea what game you're talking about.
Every game has a fade to black construction sounds.
I'm thinking of, okay, so, like, are you thinking of, I think maybe it's like Jak and Daxter. That's the tone you're hitting for me.
Final Fantasy 16, multiple fade to black construction sounds.
Oh my God.
I think Harvest Moon has got to have a lot of fade to black construction sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey man, just food for thought. I can't tell you what to do. You're the creative guy.
They got to stop doing that for sure.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Oh, so the whole episode is about how this is like a pretty cool thing that they do in video games?
Well, look, hey man, it's your opinion. I can't tell you what to think.
This is your opinion.
Hey, whoa, don't put this on me.
Okay.
It's just something that's very iconic for gaming that no one's ever talked about.
It's because they don't want to animate it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Oh, Monster Hunter. It's big Monster Hunter vibes, I can see.
Yeah.
So overall for the review, now you should know nobody gets an A+. That's just there just to set the standards. So just so we're on the same page here. Delayed Input, first 11 seasons, I give it an A-.
That's a good score.
Yeah. If I would have said B, would you have lost sleep about it?
No, if you said B, I would be like, that's what I deserve.
Really? You would give yourself a B?
I would give myself a C.
Oh,
I have high standards for my own like level of writing and performance and editing, and so like I would give myself a C.
Thanks for making the show, man. It's great.
Thank you for being so appreciative of it. Naturally, I thought there would be more bit to this. You know what I mean? I thought you would be like harsher and things like that, but you truly do seem to have a genuine appreciation of Delayed Input.
I do like the show. It wasn't complete bullshit. I thought about the bit angle, then I was like, if I really liked the YouTube channel and some stranger came on it and it was just really mean to the host of it, I'd fucking hate them. You know what I mean? That'd be terrible.
Sure, fair enough.
Okay.
Question though.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I do. You are a stranger to me. Let's say that's true, actually.
Right.
Where can I see more Ben Hansen?
Oh, very sweet. MinMax, MINNMAX. The easiest place is our YouTube channel. The MinMax Show is our flagship podcast, and that's a good starting point for folks. Otherwise, if you cruise that YouTube channel, you'll find a lot. And Kyle Bossman hosted the MinMax Show for the last 4 weeks. It was fun to hear you host. I hope it was enjoyable for you and you weren't too stressed doing it.
No, I wasn't stressed. It was a challenge. It was good.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. So if you want to hear Bossman host a podcast for 4 episodes, you can jump in there and find it. Then hopefully you like what you hear after that. But yeah, the MinMax Show podcast. Did that feel too pushy? Did that feel too selling?
Here's the thing. It is just the MinMax Show.
Yeah, you're right.
It kills me when you add podcast at the end of that.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the MinMax Show, parentheses, it's a podcast, is what I'm trying to convey.
Got it.
But it does make it seem like it's the title. It's a mistake.
That's what you're saying.
The MinMax Show.
No. That's worth saying because we talk about Delayed Input, which is showy, I guess, right? And so, like, if you just said the MinMax Show, somebody might expect like a 10-minute thing, but it's a podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole podcast. Yeah. But there's a lot more content over there. It's a Patreon funded outlet. You know how it goes. Mm-hmm. You should promote your Patreon more, man.
Okay. Well, the executive producers that you will see soon, those are all patrons of Delayed Input of that certain tier. And then for the $3 tier, you can you get post-show assessments. I do post-show assessments where you can see some outtakes and thoughts about like my process throughout the given week's episode.
Kyle,
yeah.
If you like this dissection of everything that he's doing here with Delayed Input, you'd probably enjoy the behind-the-scenes assessment every single episode. $3 tier on Patreon.
That was really good.
Thanks, man. We're no Greg Miller, but we're getting there.
We're not. Hey, Delayed Input is back next week. Until then, thanks for watching. Apologies to Eve 6 and all of your fans, but like that's a silly song.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been popular, but it was. People listened to it on the school bus.
Yeah, just like Let's Talk About Sex Baby, which you referenced at some point early on as well.
Wait,
but
I?
You said Shrek instead of...
There's no way. I said, let's talk about Shrek, baby.
Roll the clip.
Let's talk about Shrek. Baby. Shrek.
For the world to see, you put that out there. For 46,000 people, you decided to put that out into the world, man.
Wow. And you know what? I bet baby isn't in the script. I bet when I said, let's talk about Shrek, it was like, oh yeah.
Right.
That song.
Let's talk about Shrek.